Welcome, folks. Tonight we have an exciting matchup. Today we are here at Elk Grove High School for the IHSA Regional Final between the Elk Grove Grenadiers and the West Chicago Wildcats. I'm Brian Siring, joined today by Bob Vilsayer. Bob, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good. Boy, it's fun to be here. Although, 51-degree day, right? And the sun is absolutely in our face.
Absolutely. You'll have to bear with us as we try to call out those numbers, folks. But we're going to have a great matchup tonight. We have the number 29 ranked Elk Grove Grenadiers facing off against the 19 ranked West Chicago Wildcats. And I would say, looking at the statistics from this season, we're going to be in for a really exciting matchup.
We are. The differences between the two teams, when you look at the stats, though, the goal differential is telling you a story. But one team, West Chicago, they're 14-5, 4 ties. And the Grenadiers, right, 11 wins, 4 losses, and 4 ties. But the goal differential, West Chicago has had 66 goals and 20 wins. Elk Grove has only given up the same amount of goals, 23 goals, but only scored 39 goals. So there's a big goal differential in the favor of West Chicago, and we'll see if that plays into today's game.
It is going to be definitely interesting to see. From what I have seen from Elk Grove, they like to play a defensive-minded game. They have done really well this season, even without putting out as high a goal output as West Chicago. And we'll see if their strong defense can outlast this strong attack.
Well, and it's interesting, we were talking before the game, you played for Coach Dan Klaus back when you were a little
top. I had the pleasure of coaching or playing under Coach Klaus. I meant to try to get to wish him good luck before the game, but I didn't want to take him out of the zone.
Yeah, he didn't know I was broadcasting the game, so I walked up to him. He coached Harper College soccer for 5 years, so I walked up to him asking for the roster, and he was like, "Bob!" So that was kind of fun to be recognized. He was a good coach at Harper College for 5 years.
And as we get ready to kick off, we have our Elk Grove Grenadiers in their white tops and gold numbers, with the visiting West Chicago in a blue diamond pattern tops on blue shorts. Elk Grove going from left to right, as you will see it tonight to start off the game. And let's get you those starting lineups. For Elk Grove, we have starting in goal, Adrian Strugala getting the start. We have number 7, Alan Maya Gonzalez. Number 8, Jason Ortiz Diaz. Number 10, Oliver Bielecki. Number 11, Alexis Jimenez. Number 12, Andre Palma. Number 14, Patrick Diamond. Number 15, Neri Gomez. Number 16, Arthur McKenna. Number 21, Marcel Merza. And number 3, Raman Eki. And for West Chicago, we have in goal starting number 0, Alvaro Martinez. Number 4, Diego Bustos. Number 6, Peter Bovey. Number 7, Aiden Durbin. Number 8, Enrique Carrera. Number 9, Kuba Slupiski. Number 10, Abraham Salinas. Number 11, Julian Lopez. Number 20, Hugo Martinez. Number 23, Leo Posada. And number 24, Nathaniel Gomez. As we see them getting ready to do the kickoff, Elk Grove looks to be in a bit of a 4-4-2, a little bit different from how I saw them line up last time, with that being a little bit of a forward-minded attacking midfielder in the top, and West Chicago opting for a 4-3-3, representing that strong attack as we kick off, and West Chicago moves the ball up the field. Elk Grove quickly recovers possession, passes all the way back, launching a long ball up. Elk Grove attempts to recontrol. Both teams feeling each other out as we begin play, neither team possessing it for more than a few passes as we start this game out.
Well, like with any game, turnovers matter, right? Every possession does matter, and it seems like in soccer games, they're a little bit cavalier about who's got the ball, and they don't mind giving up turnovers, especially long-range turnovers. But when you played for Dan Klaus, what did he feel about that?
Well, the keys to the game whenever we were playing was possession and passing. Make the simple pass. Maintain possession of the ball. You can't score if you don't have the ball. And I've throw. You see this type of line up this formation, it doesn't matter what level, all the way from the top, all the way up to even in the Premier League, you will see teams playing with this strategy. And we have a stoppage of play here as the referee has a word with the West Chicago bench.
Must have been something they said.
It looks like I thought it was a throw, and it looks like it was a foul, and I suppose West Chicago did not care for the tackle. As they launch it into the box, it is not cleared just yet, as it is cleared out up towards Bilecki, who isn't able to get on the end of it, and West Chicago and Elk Grove continue to exchange a back and forth with neither team really getting into a groove just yet.
Well, like you said earlier, they're feeling each other out. But what strikes me is the ball's been on the left side of the field the whole game for the most part. So even though there's no score, you just feel like West Chicago is already in control of it without being in control of it.
I would say that is more indicative of the two teams' game plans. West Chicago is going to be looking for that full press offensive push, whereas Elk Grove is looking to possess. In soccer, unlike in football or other sports, going backwards isn't a detriment. You use the whole field to your advantage, and Elk Grove is at times opting to drop it back. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't get caught with sloppy passes or soft passes or lose possession when you're back there. As a scrum in the middle of the field, Elk Grove comes away with it, and a whistle on number... I can't quite make that out with the sign. Number 15.
Yeah. It's
Gomez.
It's the white jerseys with the gold numbers.
Yeah, so I guess to correct earlier, I guess we were wondering, so even though we are in Elk Grove, that would make Elk Grove the away team in this regional final.
Yeah, if you look at Max Preps, West Chicago was seeded 4th in this region, and Elk Grove was seeded 6th, and that's who's in the final of this region. The winner going to sectionals next.
And Elk Grove coming off a bit of an upset win this past weekend. They should be feeling pretty good going into tonight's game. They get home field advantage as West Chicago just moves the ball nicely all the way back to their keeper. He holds it, takes it outside as West Chicago is doing a nice job controlling the ball.
Well, and I like the way that they turned it over calmly all the way back to their own zone.
And now they did have to result on a clear, and Elk Grove gains possession at the top of the box. Bilecki with an opportunity, and a mishit goes to an Elk Grove player. Cleared fairly well by West Chicago. Let's see how they go through. They're opting for a direct attack, and they launch through one of their players. As he takes a shot that sails wide and high, but Elk Grove is going to have to be on the lookout for that. They know as well as we do the stats and how many goals West Chicago looks to put in. They're going to be looking to go to goal all night, right away. They're not going to look to build up a perfect play. They're not going to look to build up. That was 1-2 passes out, and they had a guy with a shot on goal.
Yeah, that was well played. Although it was a 2-on-5 shot taken, their 2 offensive players, 5 defensive players shot it, like you said, over the net. Has to stay more on top of the ball. But at that angle, it was a 1-on-1. If you could just beat the defender, it was a 1-on-1. I would like to have seen him, once the defense had 5 players and there was only 2 West Chicago players, just bring it back.
Yeah, and I would say that's probably not necessarily in West Chicago's strategy. That is probably not. They did a nice job on the defensive, but they're looking to go. And Elk Grove, I've seen in previous games, has done an excellent job tracking back. But all it takes is one time, one missed offsides, and referees are human. They make the mistakes as we have the throw in here.
Yeah, there's no replay system. Now, on one of the free kick plays, as opposed to the throw-in, Elk Grove had 9 of the 11 players, including the goalie, back.
Right.
Yeah.
They do an excellent job as a team tracking back. But, yeah, unfortunately, you have to do that for the whole 80 minutes. As West Chicago moves it out wide to the left. Laying it back. Going all the way back to the defenders. We'll see if they continue to move all the way back. Elk Grove stepping nicely with the ball. 50-50 ball collected by Elk Grove, collected by West Chicago.
What I do like on those plays where West Chicago brings the ball back, Elk Grove keeps a defender on them, so it's harder to switch fields like that.
Strigala picks up the ball as that was played back. Elk Grove looking to build up. West Chicago opting to keep a lot of pressure, not giving Elk Grove time, but Elk Grove is moving the ball. Jimenez.
That's a great individual
Dispossessed.
effort to steal the ball.
As that sun dips down behind the trees, I'll have a better ability to read those players' numbers as we move forward, as West Chicago is moving the ball. Currently just putting a little more emphasis behind those 50-50 balls at midfield.
Well, right, but Elk Grove has the whole student body on the left side of the field, so West Chicago's not going to go anywhere easily with it.
And there's the offsides flag up, but a good effort and a good quick 1-2 working in the middle for Elk Grove. Unfortunately for them, just a few steps off sides, but neither team really breaking away at this point. Both teams still trying to figure out what this game is going to look like. Is it going to be a high-scoring affair, or is this going to be a 1-0, 2-1 defensive battle?
That's what we're seeing with Elk Grove. West Chicago centered the ball, and there was like 7 defenders all around him. It wasn't going to get easily to the net. So I think what we're going to look at is a 1-0 or 2-1 type game.
Yeah, with West Chicago just absolutely drumming over their opponent. As we are going to need to get a break for that unfortunate.
Square into the face.
That hurts no matter who you are. Hopefully he will be okay. And that's
whoever
take a break here.
It hurts you at every level.
Yes. As the trainers see to the injured player, be sure to check out the EGHS Parent Teacher Council Holiday Art and Craft Show on November 2nd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. right here at the high school. Shop for holiday gifts at over 250 vendors. There will also be concessions and raffles available. There is a $3 admission fee, but children 12 and under are free. As the injured West Chicago player is able to walk off under his own power, you always love to see that. We look to get back in with a drop ball.
And of course, he'll be in concussion protocol immediately after the game. It's not funny, right?
It's not something that a lot of people think about because they think about concussions with football, hockey, those types of plays.
Well, it's when your head hits the turf, it's really hard, right? But when the ball hits you at 100 miles an hour right square in the face, that's what has to be thought about.
I saw plenty of concussions back in high school over the years from just players getting a ball right in the face like that. Yep. So we'll hope for the best and see if he's able to return to the game. Elk Grove moving the ball. West Chicago with an interception as they opt to go straight forward.
That was a clean tackle. The ball was first. It went out.
Maya Gonzalez with an excellent tackle by the senior here, able to just turn what looked like a promising attack for West Chicago into an ability for Elk Grove once again to get their team back behind the ball. Aiden Durbin for West Chicago, putting it out wide. Julian Lopez on the ball. And despite some good play, even better defensive back as McKenna gets under the long ball and the clear, attempts to pass it up. Hoping for a miracle on that one.
Yeah, but 2 kicks later, the ball's at the other end. That was, like you said, it was well defended. And then when it was defended, it was also cleared effectively instantly.
Yes.
Here's another good send on the corner. Oh, this is trouble. But look at how many defenders are swarming the ball.
They've done an excellent job on collapsing that possession, and now nicely won by Elk Grove as they move towards midfield. Unfortunately, just a heavy touch puts it back into the possession of West Chicago. Durbin on the ball. Unfortunately for West Chicago, Elk Grove just doing an excellent job with.
Well,
Maya Gonzalez has been a strong defender for Elk Grove all season long.
Elk Grove is clogging up the middle, and where the attack points are for West Chicago are going to be in the corners, just like this.
Yeah, they're giving them the space in the middle, but they're collapsing on them, and I would have to assume that is part of their strategy, and so far it has been very effective for Elk Grove, as West Chicago is probably not used to a team just kind of clogging up the attacking third.
And here, that was a 1-on-4 kick also.
Yeah, they're getting shots, they're getting opportunities, but none of them are high opportunities. You got Durbin taking another long shot as he shanks it out wide off the bounce. That's a hard ball to hit, and it looks like West Chicago, we have a substitution.
I can't tell the number. I'm wondering if that was the player that went out earlier.
Maybe the injured player coming back in. Unfortunately, as hard as the gold numbers are to read, these dark numbers on the back of West Chicago's jerseys are even smaller and harder to read. Elk Grove collecting the long clear.
Well, it's going to be
just to hit it back up.
Yeah, like usual, it's going to be a game of adjustments. But I think what West Chicago knows is they're not going to be able to score from the middle of the field. They're going to have to, take it to the edge and then maybe a crossing pass that goes in. But Elk Grove is doing a great job clogging up the middle on defense. So they've made a concerted effort that says West Chicago is fantastic on offense. We're going to stay in the middle on defense with numbers.
And forcing them out wide. I talk about this every game I cover. These are big fields. These are wide fields. It is hard to effectively cross in when you get out that far wide to give, and there's going to be a foul.
Yeah, you can see that coming.
Jimenez just tipped him on the back of the knees. West Chicago going fast.
Yeah, it slowed it down for about a second by knocking him over. Some excellent ball control there.
Salinas. And ball rolls out of play for a West Chicago throw with, I believe that's Salinas on the throw. One of the two captains. And a miss hit by Jimenez gives West Chicago an opportunity, but Elk Grove, with numbers behind the ball, have managed to retain possession. Right away give it back up. And that's going to be something they're going to have to watch out for. As West Chicago slowing it down, and I have to say, I just feel like they're looking for an opportunity, a team that seems like it wants to be on the quick counterattack, but doesn't have the opportunity based on how Elk Grove has come out and attacked this game.
Well, Elk Grove's strategy, again, is heavy defense, right? And then they're looking to do the counterattacks against West Chicago. Yeah. West Chicago is looking to hammer the ball in, but finding a lot of resistance in the middle of the field. But, this is going to be a game of adjustments, right? So West Chicago is going to have to attack from the corners and see how that works out. And meanwhile, right now, Elk Grove hasn't shown much offense because they're focusing so much to keep the score at 0-0, which is a very good plan against a very good West Chicago team. I love that ball control there. Bounce it yourself 3 times and then pass it.
And let's see if Elk Grove can get themselves out here as that ball goes down to the corner, is crossed in, and definitely collected by Adrian Stegula.
Yeah, shots from that angle aren't going to go in, but
no,
obviously...
and that that's one of those, is it a shot, is it a cross, let's get something in play, as the ball is punted up towards McKenna and 2 West Chicago players. McKenna attempting to get a foot on the ball, do a little something just to disrupt West Chicago from being able to keep the ball in their control. Bilecki on the ball, stuffed down by 2 West Chicago defenders.
You're
and
going to say offside.
Well offsides by Julian Lopez. And this is a surprising non-call.
And I think we're going to have troubles at the bench, a little too much yapping.
Yep, and this is going to be the second time now the coach is going to go over or the referee is going to go over to one of the benches to warn the coach. But that was a very obvious offsides, but we're going to I'm going to assume the referee is going to claim that player wasn't involved in the play as it didn't get that far over.
Well,
although it does appear, I'm trying to figure out where we go. It looks like the referee is going to bring that all the way back for a drop ball, as I don't think that ball went out of play when he blew the whistle to stop it.
Well, I think the referee wanted to warn the bench, but I don't think the referee was doing anything other than warning the bench, not trying to explain the call at all.
That is an interesting call for offsides. Offsides always a tough one. The rule would be that an offsides player would have to play the ball or be involved in the play for the referee to do the whistle. And the referee opting to keep it very tight on that call would be my guess based on what happened, since that ball didn't even make it close to the offsides player. But once you see that, that's why they always say play to the whistle, because just because that flag goes up doesn't mean you're going to get that call. As West Chicago throws it in and Elk Grove quickly shuts it down. Elk Grove putting a little more pressure up high now, not just giving West Chicago free reign in the midfield, and we'll see if this can pay off as the game continues on. Out of bounds with Elk Grove with a throw. Andre Palma looking to take the throw. Number 4, Daniel Boyazliev into the game. And a foul here whistled. And a free kick for Elk Grove. I think perhaps a little handball.
Yep.
Number 7, Alan Maya Gonzalez back on the kick. Launching long into the top of the box. Headed down and collected by the West Chicago keeper. Not seeing anyone open. He's holding it and opts to launch it downfield for a 50-50 ball, where West Chicago, greatly outnumbered in that sector of the field, gives it up to Elk Grove. And that is going to be a dangerous through ball if West Chicago can get any players up into the middle of the field. He's holding it at the top of the box. Well defended by Elk Grove, not given any opportunity, and a beautiful cross and a diving header attempt by West Chicago sails just wide.
Yeah, that was closer than we think. That was a nice center pass and a diving header.
Excellent play by West Chicago, trying to find anything.
Yeah, he wasn't open, but he became open by diving after that ball and redirected it very correctly, just about, maybe 4 or 5 feet off the net. Very nice centering pass, and that's how West Chicago is going to have to attack this Elk Grove team.
And Elk Grove is going to have to be aware of that as they go on in this game, that they have to make sure they don't just rely on a kind of a zonal defensive smothering. You're just going to have to win that ball in the corner. A little more yapping by the West Chicago bench. I'm not quite sure exactly what.
Well, we might be blaming the bench, but there's a lot of fans back there who might be vocal too.
There are more fans than I have seen on an away team's side all season. So, as Elk Grove is possessing the ball all the way back, nice turn, and out of bounds. Jimenez unable to keep that ball due to some heavy pressure from West Chicago. Elk Grove wins the ball midfield.
Oh, nice
Jimenez.
one-timer.
Finds Bilecki.
This, I think, is the longest that Elk Grove has held onto the ball since the beginning of the game. It's a nice possession here. And there it goes,
Jimenez
finally.
Looking to step in, and West Chicago clears the ball.
But Elk Grove maintains possession still.
It'll be interesting to see now that we hit near the 20-minute mark if Elk Grove, as they tend to move forward, and no whistle on that play there. A tough challenge on the ball. Elk Grove maintains possession, though, at the throw.
Yeah, I think West Chicago would maintain that was a clean swipe.
It was a quick play. It looked like he got ball, but, and I don't see anyone from Elk Grove complaining. on that. So
Well, that's because they're really being gentlemanly now after the referee went over and warned them.
West Chicago with a throw deep in their own territory. We'll see if, as I was starting to say, we'll see if Elk Grove begins to put a little more pressure now that we're halfway through the first half.
Well, they've done a great job, getting through the first half with all the pressure West Chicago put on them, and now they've still maintained possession almost for the last 5 minutes. It feels like they've done a marvelous job
and
here.
If not possession control of this middle third of the game so far.
Elk Grove has had the misfortune of a lot of turnovers. West Chicago is very good at stealing the ball, but right now they're holding on to it for a long time. Now, still haven't worked around to a quality shot yet, but that's next. Oh, that was a foul called, so West Chicago is going to get the ball back that way.
And West Chicago is going to be thankful for that whistle at this point, letting them get their team up the field as they get ready to take the free kick.
Now we'll see if West Chicago is a little bit more careful with the turnovers now that they know Elk Grove can keep the possession for a long time.
Right, yeah, that
was a fortunate bounce.
Yeah, it was a fortunate West Chicago bounce on what could have been a whistle, in my opinion, as the ball rolls out of bounds.
Another goal kick.
No, they're calling it a corner kick, and I thought for sure that went off of the West Chicago player, but those referees have a much better view than we do.
And clearly the fans had our view.
Well, I guess we'd have to ask which set of fans. As West Chicago lines up to take the corner, Elk Grove having nearly everyone back. McKenna, the lone man up top. But West Chicago not committing completely forward, with opting to hold 4 players back.
Well, and Elk Grove just 1 player out.
As it rattles around in there, West Chicago trying to get an excellent save by Strigala as he manages just to tip that on a double save over the top. What an amazing save on a very difficult shot. That is one of those plays that hopefully for Elk Grove is going to come back and be one of the keys to the victory tonight, because that was a very, very close shot, low opportunity to react to it. That is just a beautiful reaction save. As the corner goes in again, headed out, continued out by Elk Grove, and well stepped into by number 4. That's Daniel Boyliza.
There's a trip.
And let's see where they're going to place that kick.
I think it's outside the box,
it looks
but
to
it's
be
close.
Just outside and no indication elsewhere.
I get the picture, though, that if that was inside the box, it would have gone uncalled, but it was outside the box. And even if it
definitely makes it an easier call for the referee on something like that, because that's a harsh punishment for a trip
at the edge.
At the edge. If it's a penalty kick is a big opportunity. But even still, this is a free kick in a dangerous position for West Chicago. Still opting to keep back a lot of players. That'll be, hopefully, for Elk Grove, they can keep an eye on them to see if they come storming in. As the kick is up, headed out wide by West Chicago. West Chicago on the ball. Nicely smothered by the Elk Grove defense. And number 15.
Yeah, and re-smothered
Neri
back.
Gomez. West Chicago regains control, is trying to commit a little more up-tempo as they cross it in, and that flag goes up, and this time we do get that on-time whistle for the offsides. And a bit of a scare here, a lot of pressure put on by West Chicago after a big stint of pressure by Elk Grove. About 5 minutes, back and forth between each team kind of taking the reins of this game.
Well, that save was made because you have a taller goalie. It was right at the top of the crossbar, right? Any shorter goaltender, that would have been in goalkeeper.
It's worth noting that West Chicago's goalie is not nearly as tall as Elk Grove's keeper. So if Elk Grove gets the opportunity to take some shots, I would say I would opt to take some shots and put them high and take them often. As Elk Grove, once again, just smothering in that final 18 on West Chicago.
Well, they got 7 players in the box. And that shot was wide.
And if you just keep forcing them, as Elk Grove substitution.
Yeah, this is looking closer and closer to whatever happens. It's going to be 1-0 game or possibly a shootout at 0-0. Elk Grove is playing great defense, keeping West Chicago from scoring, and right now Elk Grove hasn't had much offense except for that one long possession that just resulted in a lot of possession time.
Yeah, Alex Jimenez taking a well-earned rest, as I believe that's Patrick Michalushik coming in, number 22, and number 4, Daniel Boyazliv, dropping back to midfield. So we'll see what kind of change this will do as Boyazliv finds himself wide open, calling for the ball with some space in front, but pressure by the West Chicago captain, who takes the ball.
Amazing how wide open he was and how quickly that was closed.
It was, and that pass it floated a bit there, giving West Chicago time to recover. So West Chicago trying to get that up-tempo attack, failing to control it, but deflection off of Elk Grove gives West Chicago a free throw or a throw-in. Opting to go backwards. McKenna trying to get some pressure on there, forcing a less than perfect pass as it rattles around midfield once again, but Elk Grove comes out on top. Elk Grove sending it long. 50-50 ball, no clear winner, and that'll be...
But we have a clear tackler.
And at least a free kick. Looks like nothing more at this time, but well won by Michalushik. I apologize for the pronunciation. Number 22, Patrick.
Yeah, we can call him Patrick for the rest of the game, right? That'll save it.
That'll save me some embarrassment on my pronunciation. But well won by him, tracking back, making that 50-50 ball and turning it into a potential for a push. Beautifully in and just headed over the bar. You do not see a better placed ball. I think that was Bilecki on that kick. And was that Jimenez on the other end with the head? Or no, number 21, Marzel Mirza. I believe that was a beautiful play, just pushed a little out over the top, but well taken, all that off of that 50-50 ball and that excellent track back and win, and that's how quickly it can happen. And that was I can't say enough how big a cannon that was for Bilecki to get that all the way up there in such a dangerous position.
Well, you couldn't have placed it there better with witchcraft, right? But then, he hit it off his head and bounced over the goal. Yeah. I can't help but think, some other kind of a kick or a deflection. You have to keep the ball low after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a perfect pass. And the golden opportunity, you have to say that was a high-quality opportunity.
High-quality opportunity for Elk Grove, a very tough one to be on the end of. Elk Grove wins the throw.
Yeah, Elk Grove has to be very happy where they're at in this game right now.
Whistle, foul on West Chicago. A little bit deeper from our previous spot, but you have to think West Chicago getting a little bit chippy at midfield, kind of trying to slow down the pace and tempo of Elk Grove as they've taken over in this middle third of the game outside of that 3-4 minute offensive spurt. As the ball is sent in right around the top of the box, and it is deflected harmlessly down and collected.
Yeah, harmlessly this time, but again, a deflection. That ball was uncovered for a long time in front of the goal.
Another beautiful ball in. Both teams, you got to have to wonder, as West Chicago plays it up long, Strigala coming well out, and he puts that into the stands.
And almost up here.
Other team can't score if the ball is in the stands.
That's right. I think that was his strategy.
Good decision, good come out.
He was trying to give us a souvenir.
It, and that's how you successfully make that play. You don't hesitate, you do it, and you commit. As Elk Grove attempting to take control from West Chicago. West Chicago tipping one over. 2 Elk Grove players covering. Third one coming in. West Chicago having to bring it back. Opting to go all the way back to the defense. Switching sides. trying to find some opening in that Elk Grove defense that they can exploit. Elk Grove just not given much room. You have to wonder if this is the type of game that will be determined by a set play.
Well, there's many ways to win a soccer game, right? And that's something that West Chicago has to be looking at. How can they get some goal kicks? Because they almost scored after that one set piece, right?
They had 2 corner kicks that both resulted in good. I mean, I would say all 3, 2 by West Chicago, and that or 4, 2 by each, 2 by each team, all coming off of free kicks or corner kicks, dead ball plays, and that might be what's going to be the difference here.
Yeah, and then barring that, then start dusting off your shootout practice.
McKenna putting it out wide for Boys Live. Putting it back in the middle. It falls to McKenna. West Chicago clearing it, going long. And that's Jimenez again, doing just enough to get him slowed down and stop that offensive push, staying with number 10 for West Chicago as Salinas pushes it out to the left, or the right rather, and Elk Grove retakes control. Bilecki dancing around, a nice little nutmeg, but loses possession of the ball to Aiden Durbin, who passes it up, and it floats just outside for a goal kick for Elk Grove.
What I feel like West Chicago has adjusted this game is earlier they were trying to attack in the middle. That didn't work, right? Now what they're doing is they're attacking quicker before that middle can get clogged.
Yeah, and they're definitely now using those outside wings to push the ball down and try to draw some of that congestion out of the middle. As Elk Grove trying to get something going. West Chicago has ball at midfield. Holds it back to midfield. Switching sides, bringing it out wide to Salinas. Dances with the ball.
Yeah, Salinas is like a magician with the ball at his feet. He's really good.
He has been doing very well on his possession, and Elk Grove winning a throw in Wildcat territory. As the referee takes a stop, I guess for a substitution, it looks like.
Yeah, this game is playing to Salinas' strength. They want to start or initiate the offense from the corner, and he's a good person to initiate the offense with. So I wouldn't be surprised if West Chicago scores just off of Salinas' assist.
He has done a good job, and that's what it's going to take as Elk Grove crosses in the middle. McKenna on the end. Oh! Caught between the height of a head and the foot. McKenna tries for a jump kick to put it in, puts it just wide. That was some beautiful play. As West Chicago quickly goes for the short goal kick, and it doesn't really amount to much more than launching it long. And that referee has a terrible angle on that one. That could have been a foul on West Chicago. West Chicago keeps possession as they go down the right side. Looking to get some room for a cross, but there's no one there, and that is where a West Chicago player needed to be, but they were not committing enough players forward on that attack because they're concerned about the counter.
Well,
so that's good play for Elk Grove.
You have to look first when you're passing it, though. You can't just pass it
I will
empty
say
space.
that you do have to play with your head up, but that is where someone needs to be when there was just no one around. There was no one around. There needed to be someone up there. West Chicago, maybe some heavy legs. Maybe as that sun dips down and the temperature drops. A no-look pass goes to no one. Elk Grove.
Ooh, this is going to be Elk Grove's ball, I think.
This should be an Elk Grove throw well inside territory, and if I was Elk Grove, I would opt to just slow this down, let the team get up. As we've seen through a couple of sections of this first half, the ball, once it gets down on one end, has stayed there for a good chunk of time. Elk Grove possessing nicely. Moves it across the middle to Bilecki, who unfortunately gets caught up on the ball and giving West Chicago a quick opportunity for a quick counter as they go out wide. Elk Grove tracking back nicely, and West Chicago failing really to capitalize as they still have possession, though. We'll see if they can commit more men forward.
Well, Elk Grove did a great job getting 7 people back.
Yeah, they tracked back and defended on that unfortunate slip. And West Chicago, I guess, potentially not used to a team tracking back as well as Elk Grove has tonight.
Well, and it goes back to Elk Grove. They're 11-4-4 for a reason. They have a good defense. They can score. And that McKenna play, I mean, that bicycle kick almost worked.
Yeah.
The goalie, I think, had kind of sort of in a way given up on it because when the kick was happening, he was jumping up and down.
Yeah.
And if that ball was kicked on the ground, it would have been a goal, but of course it went wide. That was a great pass and a great opportunity. But here, West
Chicago wins a free kick off of a push in the back in a very dangerous position as they once again are opting to keep multiple players back. But as we've seen earlier, even having a few extra players in the box, they've still managed to get some good shots off. Nicely centered into the middle, headed down. Not much power behind that as he redirects it onto goal. Strugala quickly downfield.
Well, we can't underestimate that set piece, too. It was West Chicago.
Very dangerous.
West Chicago had their head on the ball, and it went the direction they wanted to, just not with the force they needed.
It just was It was nicely placed, but it was floated just a little bit too much. And when you float the ball in like that means that the player on the other hand, the receiving player, has to put all of the power. They can't just redirect it. They have to put all the power into it. As West Chicago looking to catch Strugala out.
That got in.
And that is in the back of the net. As West Chicago takes a 1-0 lead right before halftime on what can only be described as a momentary lapse in that defensive line, allowing West Chicago for the first time all game to get that quick counterattack. And Elk Grove's they're going to want to get that one back quickly.
Oh, well, of course they want to get that one back. But West Chicago was doing that the whole game. Once they found out the middle of the defense wasn't penetrable, right, they kept going outside into the edges, and they did it quicker and quicker so the midfielders couldn't get back. And that's what they had there, and that it left it one-on-one, the player and the goalie, and kicked it over the goal.
Yeah, that long ball opportunity, they were waiting for that, and they saw it. And looks like a bench player for West Chicago getting a yellow card. As the referee goes over to talk to the bench, probably.
Posada.
And number 22, that for West Chicago with the goal, number 22, Angel Fernandez. That's the name, right?
Angel Fernandez.
The goal scorer for West Chicago as Elk Grove puts the ball back into play as we get on with this first half. Elk Grove currently down, trailing 1-0 to the West Chicago Wildcats.
And that's going to be trouble now because Elk Grove hasn't shown much for the quality shot department. So we'll see if West Chicago just tries to close down the 1-0 win or if they continue to try to score that second goal. But it's in this, what we think is going to be a low-scoring game. It's already 1-0. That's going to be hard for Elk Grove to make up. That little push never hurt anybody.
West Chicago wins possession, looking quickly to do another long ball.
And again, into the corners, quickly. Salinas,
getting those.
Right?
Salinas again on the ball. Elk Grove committing 4 players. Doing a good job as that gets cleared from Boyzelev. Bounces to McKenna. McKenna to Bilecki. Bilecki to Jimenez. Jimenez goes to the corner. And taken by West Chicago and was a promising attack.
And what an exciting game now. When it's 0-0 and neither team has scored, they both want to keep it that way right now. But now Elk Grove, unless they score, they've lost, right? So they're going to be a lot more aggressive on the offensive end now. It's going to be a real exciting game here coming up. Just a couple of minutes away from halftime.
West Chicago, free kick right at midfield, taking plenty of time, moving their players up.
Yeah, if you're Elk Grove, giving up a goal right before halftime isn't the worst thing in the world and probably is good timing. Not good because you didn't get the goal, but at halftime you can make the adjustments you think you need to make.
Right, and as Elk Grove clears it, brings it down possession, but just a miss hit gives West Chicago an opportunity. Elk Grove collapsing on it, and it rolls to Strigala.
Yeah, if that ball got deflected, that was offside, but man, that would have been trouble.
Yeah, and I didn't see a flag go up as West Chicago trying to get it out wide, and they ultimately do on a miscontrolled ball. Going back.
Yeah, what a surprise, that miscontrolled ball into Salinas' feet again.
Yeah. Well won by Neri Gomez in midfield. Lays it off. Looking to go long to Jimenez, but it looks like it's going to have just enough to roll out of bounds.
The goalie kicked, wisely letting it go. You'd rather have a goal kick than control right there. A few more seconds elapse.
And West Chicago taking every second the referee is going to allow them for this restart. And frankly, it's a little out of hand.
Well, it's a lot of hand, especially when you're down a goal.
Yeah, well, there have been some reports in soccer. As always, it's the clock ticks down for the final minute, and I expect the ball may not even get into play again. The difference between high school soccer and all other forms of soccer is that there is that countdown clock versus the count up. As another 15 seconds go off, 15, 20 seconds go off the clock, the referee doesn't have the ability to adjust for time wasting. They would have to signal as McKenna almost gets on the end of that. West Chicago going long.
Well, they still got another 20 seconds to try to get one in.
Well defended by Elk Grove. Up and away by Elk Grove. Good fundamentals on those clearing headers. So McKenna drops it down as the final bell rings.
So the adjustments that need to be made, maybe West Chicago will take the midfielders and drop them down a little bit and make it harder for Elk Grove to get downfield. But from Elk Grove's perspective, they're going to have to find a way. They're going to have to give up the clogging defense and figure out a way to push the ball up to the midfielders and get something going on the other end. They have had a couple quality shots like that McKenna,
they had some good opportunities,
and then
for
that
Elk Grove.
header that just went over the net.
Yeah.
So they're not coming up totally dry on quality opportunities. I do think West Chicago has some very, very, very talented midfielders, and of course the midfielders are going all the way from midfield into the corners, and that's what did the damage.
With the exception of about 3 minutes in the middle of the game, and unfortunately that lapse on goal, I think Elk Grove had the better play of the first half, but unfortunately the score does not reflect that. And I think what it does come down to is Elk Grove needs to get maybe not even more. Obviously, they want more high, potential shots, but just some shots, period. There's just not enough shots. They're maybe overthinking it a little bit too much in that final third as they're getting there. I would expect to see a little more offensive-minded attack from Elk Grove. But overall, even though they're down 1-0, I think Elk Grove will be pretty happy considering the number of goals that West Chicago has been putting in against teams. As we talked about before the game started, these are two very closely matched teams. And for West Chicago, like you said, if they're starting to see that adjustment with them trying to work the outside, just stretch that field out wide to stop that clog in the middle, because Elk Grove has to stretch out as well because they can't just leave the men open on the wings. And we'll see if that allows them to get some openings in the middle, but we'll see what the two teams come out with at the beginning of the second half. As we get set to kick off the second half at this IHSA sectional final, Elk Grove Boys Varsity Grenadiers against the Wildcats of West Chicago. We look forward to the last 40 minutes of what has been a close match here, with Elk Grove trailing by a score of 1-0 as both teams have huddled up before the kickoff. Bob, any thoughts on the second half?
Well, it's all going to be about the adjustments, right? So Elk Grove is now down a goal, and if you don't win this game, you go home, right? So all efforts have to be on finding a way to score that goal. They have had a couple quality opportunities in the first half that didn't go in when the score was 0-0. And that's when they were only going to be able to score on counter types of plays. But we're going to see what they do now, down by a goal, how aggressive they will be. Conversely, West Chicago, are they going to continue to try to press and get an extra goal, or are they going to just stay in the defensive shell and make it really difficult for Elk Grove? One thing to watch is if Elk Grove does fall into a defense that clogs the middle, West Chicago will be able to hold the ball on the perimeter for a long time. Regardless, whoever loses this game goes home.
Well said, as Makina stands over the ball and sends it back. Elk Grove clearing it up long. Jimenez on the other end heads it just out of bounds for a West Chicago throw.
Now, the teams switched sides, right, but there's no wind, and it's certainly colder now in the second half. The sun went down, and it went down a couple of degrees, but feels a lot colder.
No sun, no wind, no rain. Beautiful night for some soccer.
Yeah, and a great sunset and some planes in the sky or landing at O'Hare. You see a lot of them here always.
All the way back to Strigala, who sends it flicked on by Makina, collected by West Chicago. You see West Chicago winger streaming down the left sideline in a foot race, and well shielded out of bounds for a goal kick for Elk Grove.
But again, that strategy is still the same. West Chicago is attacking the corners. They're not attacking the middle of the field anymore.
Like you said, their strategy has shifted a little bit since the beginning, but it's still that quick attack. They are going down with that quick attack, and they're going down to the corners to see if they get it. They were successful with that goal in the first half on basically just that. Elk Grove possesses the ball, cleared up long. Makina getting on the end of it into the West Chicago box, laid off. Boysalov sends it through. On another night, that would be good for 3 points.
Yeah, as a coach, you hate that because you worked really hard to get the ball in possession in the forward third, right? And then all of a sudden you pass it back and they kick a field goal.
It was well taken by Elk Grove. Very promising start to this half. Unfortunately, he had a little more time on that. He probably could have taken a touch, as West Chicago was a little bit slow, trailing to get back. West Chicago on possession, sends it line.
Another corner, what a surprise.
And Strigala opts to stay in because that was not a little push, as is that beautiful slide by that number 20. Can't quite read that number, some tape on the back there. But well taken slide by the Elk Grove defender, pushing it out for a corner.
Yeah, other ways to get in the game is you kind of forget about it. But if you can get possession in the box and get somebody to side tackle you and you shield the ball, then you get the penalty kick. So if you can get to the penalty kick line, that's another way to score goals. But right now, West Chicago with the ball.
Pings around in
Another
there,
corner.
drops to a West Chicago player, kicked in. They're kicked out of bounds off of an Elk Grove player, and sophomore Julian Lopez on the corner kick again for West Chicago.
So a right-footed kick is going to tail away from the goal.
Up in the middle and well cleared.
There was like nobody from West Chicago on that header.
No, they have opted to not put a lot of pressure on those kicks, but yet have still gotten a lot of good opportunities off of them. Flicked by West Chicago just out of bounds, and Elk Grove with a goal kick.
And we have to keep our eyes on the time a little bit more now that with a 1-goal lead, 36 minutes to go.
Plenty of time, but yes, time is important here, as this could be the last 35 minutes for the varsity season, which has been a very, very strong season. I mean, going into tonight's game, as West Chicago flicks it up, Elk Grove possessing it, West Chicago going out wide, Elk Grove collapsing on him. Good no call from our angle here by the referee, as that ball, didn't see a whole lot of contact on that, but a long kick And a good shot just over the bar for a goal kick for Elk Grove. One of the interesting things that we didn't get to talk about is neither team here tonight has lost a game since September. Elk Grove hasn't lost a game since mid-September, and West Chicago hasn't lost one since early September. So, unfortunately, both those streaks are going to come to an end here, but both have been absolutely on fire. So I don't think we're going to see the end of Elk Grove here just being a 1-0 loss. As McKenna tries to possess it and wins a throw-in. Long throw deep into Wildcat territory. Headed out. McKenna nicely won. Off to Jimenez, and the shot goes wide.
There's another frustration run, right? Kicked it wide, you lose possession. So next shot on goal, let's look at the clock. It's 35 and a half to go, right? So next time Elk Grove gets a shot on goal is going to be when. And that's the trick. How many quality shots are you going to get before this game ends?
And those were two. They've had two good opportunities here, and I think they're just rushing it. They just need to take a breath. Those hearts are beating fast as it gets cold, as the clock ticks down, the pressure mounts. Well won by the captain of West Chicago. Won right back by Elk Grove. Turning out wide. Well put. Down the sideline for Jimenez, who puts it into the center towards McKenna. McKenna winning possession. Lays off to Bilecki. Bilecki a shot, but stuffed down. Bilecki wins the ball. Keeps on going. A strong left foot strike off the West Chicago defender. McKenna again almost gets it over to Jimenez as West Chicago finally manages to get it clear, and Elk Grove is going to need to keep this pressure up. This has been a fantastic start to the second half.
And this is why Elk Grove has 11 wins. They do have an offense.
I've seen this group of players last year, or quite a number of them last year, come back from a much deeper deficit in the second half to have an amazing 3-2 win.
Yeah, but they didn't do that against West Chicago, and that's part of the problem. West Chicago has very good ball handlers.
Deflection, caught by Strigula. Cleared up long to McKenna. McKenna pressuring the West Chicago defender. Elk Grove looking to get control midfield. Drops it back to the defender.
Yeah, see, I don't think West Chicago minds when Elk Grove has the ball way on this end. There's just no pressure. They're not pressing. They're saying, we're not going to let you get behind us.
Both teams ping-ponging it back and forth, neither team opting for anything. West Chicago making a push, no one on the other end, but let's see what happens here as Elk Grove looks to clear it upfield, manages to keep it in. Boyzelev comes back to the ball.
And there's the turnover that West Chicago wanted.
Yeah, that's unfortunate turnover as there
remember that
wasn't anyone there.
Yeah, remember that goal that went wide at 36 minutes? Now we're at 32, and Elk Grove hasn't had a chance since.
So the ball rolls out. Throw in for Elk Grove. Down the sideline. Jimenez. Jimenez again. And West Chicago managing to just get it cleared all the way back to Strigala.
That was a good read. Elk Grove goalie cutting that off.
Yes, absolutely. Once again, good commitment on coming out and just taking away any opportunity for West Chicago to get on the end of that. That's a nice back pass.
Got a deflection. I think we're going to
pressured.
Yeah.
Well pressured by Elk Grove to deflect that ball over the top as the West Chicago will take their time going out for this corner.
Well, we said earlier, set pieces are probably going to be the key to the game for West Chicago, and they've got another one here.
And that goal, while not directly off a set piece, did happen very shortly after when it kind of seemed like Elk Grove was a little bit caught off guard. Opting low and almost deflected into their own net. That would have been quite the unfortunate turn, but safely out of bounds in the end. for another West Chicago corner kick.
Well, bottom line, an inch is as good as a mile, right?
That's all that matters. As West Chicago puts this one in, drops it long into the middle, just a little over the top. No one home. Boys 11 trying to keep it down to turn it into a little something. Rules out of bounds for a West Chicago throw in.
Ooh.
A whistle by the referee. Maybe a little shirt pulling action in there. I could not see from our angle. Referee with a strong whistle, confident as that play was right in front of him.
Nonetheless, it's a short free kick.
It is
perfect
a
spot.
dangerous position. West Chicago still opting to keep back 4 players, not looking to get caught on a counter.
Well, now with a 1-0 lead, of course.
Directly on goal and just over the top. That was a good hit by West Chicago, and Elk Grove
Yeah, that's
getting out
frustrating.
of another jam here.
Yeah, it needs to be on net when you make that kick, but it wasn't off by much.
And this second half flying by as we get 10 minutes into the half. Elk Grove up to...
I like that call. I don't like the play. I like the call.
Bilecki taking a hard hit at midfield, and frankly, that
There's
has happened. I don't know if it's been the same player every single time, but that is about the fourth or fifth time midfield that Elk Grove has taken a strong hit from West Chicago, and at some point the referee is going to need to put a stop to that, because especially when you're down 1-0 trying to get something going as long kick into the box. Elk Grove unable to get on the end of it. Still trying to get something together, and a quick shot by Jimenez pushes it just outside as West Chicago will line up for a goal kick.
Now, Jimenez is a fantastic player, and he took that kick, and I would never say, Jimenez, don't take that shot. But, okay, the last opportunity he had was at 36 minutes. Now you're down to 28 minutes, another shot that went wide. So let's see when Elk Grove gets the next opportunity.
Right now they're looking at about 3 opportunities this half, with 12 minutes gone, maybe 1 every 4 minutes. And those are probably going to slow down, and you got to think about the opportunities on the other side as West Chicago moves the ball nicely. 1-2 pass, give and go down the sideline. Dancing with the ball is West Chicago, looking for an opening. Well marked as he sends it wide. No one home on the back door. West Chicago racing to get it before it goes out of bounds and cleared upfield by Elk Grove.
Well, and they saved it. That was a fantastic offensive move to keep that ball from going out. They kept possession. Continue to keep possession.
Nice little play to himself. West Chicago with the ball at the top of the box. Rips a shot over the top, but once again, West Chicago coming up with some good shots and some strong hustle play, working the ball on the outside.
Yeah, they had some possession for a while there. Normally, I don't like it when you kick it over the net like that, but that was actually a pretty darn good kick, well set up. Unfortunately, just a little bit high, but that was definitely in the wheelhouse.
Strigala launches it up for
and a turnover
right
here
to West Chicago player. That's unfortunately the problem on a goal kick. You can opt to go short, which is dangerous, and there's going to be a whistle out there.
Another free kick from here, another relatively dangerous spot.
Jason Ortiz-Diaz.
So you figure this will be a far post shot, and then hope for a deflection on the other end.
And what's dangerous with a ball like this is it doesn't necessarily matter who it deflects off of. Both teams are going to be running back towards their own goal. So it is a prime potential for even an own goal, as that ball floats a little bit at the end, allowing Elk Grove to get it cleared out to McKenna. McKenna on the ball, trying to find some room to turn, manages to turn, but no one really there for him to play to. He kicks it off of the West Chicago defender as West Chicago quickly runs down the sideline, getting into prime position. Dancing on the ball as Elk Grove shuts him down. And there is no foul.
No foul called on the push.
And the no call there. That was a strong ball tackle.
Yeah, I like the no call. It was in the corner, no damage to getting in the net, so don't make a penalty kick there. Don't change the game. So it was a good no call, but definitely some contact.
I mean, I just don't even think that. Yeah, I mean, the contact, there wasn't enough contact for me for a foul any place in the field on that one. Elk Grove defender had the ball at his feet, and he had won that challenge, and by the time the West Chicago player ran through him, he's running through the player who has the ball.
Now, here's what we're worried about. West Chicago can hold on to the ball for a long time, and they can keep going back, and they've shown the ability to switch sides, switch fields, and go back to the goalie.
But they're doing what they want to do, which is quick movements up the field and trying to get that attack going.
Well, and there's still
a strong, hard shot is caught by Strugala.
They're still absolutely attacking as opposed to using up clock.
And I would say if, with the way this game is going, Elk Grove is going to be somewhat thankful that West Chicago is more apt for that offensive-minded play as McKenna tries to get some space to turn. Gets the turn, but deflected just out of bounds by West Chicago for a throw for Elk Grove. Quickly taken by McKenna. Unfortunately, though, possession given up by West Chicago, who's turning to go straight down the center of the field. And that's an onside play. Strugala coming out with an amazing save. Let's see what the second shot goes. And there's
the no call there either.
I could not say that I have not seen a more obvious dive in many, many years. He was falling before he even made it to the ball with his arms up in the air. A great no call by the referee, although the West Chicago fans are not going to agree with that.
Yeah, we almost got another souvenir on that. That's one that you have to put on the highlight film, replay it slowly, and see what actually really did happen there.
And I absolutely will go back and check that replay. But in the bang bang live action of that, there did not appear to be anything close to a penalty kick on that.
Well, and that's where I'm at. Don't call it unless you really need to call it.
Yeah. Well, I would always it's McKenna. Nice turn by McKenna, but just gets away from him at the end as West Chicago moves up, tries to go quickly down the field again. Elk Grove's going to have to watch out for those quick plays, as West Chicago doesn't seem intent on continuing with their high-pressure, quick-release offense, and Elk Grove is going to have to push more and more up forward, maybe dropping out of their defensive comfort to try to tie this game up. Ball goes back to Strugala. Strugala clears it up. Boyslev flicks it on. West Chicago gains possession.
Ooh,
going
pass,
out well wide.
Yeah. I'd like to pass it first, but it was too slow.
Yeah, but they've maintained possession, and now they have it out wide. Nice save by Strugala, parried away, and a second save. Bailing himself out there on what was a beautiful save, but a prime opportunity, second chance for West Chicago.
Yeah, you see why they have 66 goals on the year, now 67. But Elk Grove is also a very good team. Made two really good saves right there.
And I would say that goalkeeping has been fantastic for Strugala tonight. Only letting in one goal. I've lost track of how many shots West Chicago has taken, but they have taken some good shots. And Strugala came up with that big save in the first half where he had to tip it over the top. And I still think that is going to be an integral play in this game as that ball goes long into the West Chicago box. Boyslev putting pressure on West Chicago. West Chicago opting clear. Unable to control it, allowing West Chicago to get the ball down on the sideline. Long shot caught by Strugala.
Yeah, I don't know if that shot is what we needed to get. But meanwhile, 22
but
minutes.
It is 20. We are about halfway through the second half here. And, it's something to be said for West Chicago. McKenna with the foul there. Bit of a frustration foul there. He's going to have to watch himself, although this referee... And we're now stopping and this is what gets us the yellow card, the first yellow card, and that is a very unfortunate, as Bilecki will need to leave the game for the yellow card. And when it comes down to it, a couple of calls out from the stands, not happy with that call. Bilecki I'm sure is going to say he was just trying to get that ball back in play faster, as West Chicago will continue to milk every second of this clock that they can.
Well, the clock is stopped.
The referee did signal for a stoppage of play, but it is surprising that of all of the things we've seen tonight, that the 2 yellow cards that the referee has managed to issue have been. And Flores, number 19, entering in for the yellow-carded Bilecki. I'm just a little shocked at the referees made some good calls, some good no calls, but the lack of substantial yellow cards has been pretty telling tonight, with the 2 being issued, one for, I guess, unsportsmanlike conduct for attempting to get the ball started again, and one for a bench player. West Chicago dancing on the ball, tipped out of bounds.
Well, what you
Patrick
wonder is
Diamond
what other
by Elk
calls
Grove.
will get made by a referee that's got a little bit of emotions elevated.
Well, that's going to be a key for Elk Grove right now, because they cannot afford any of that right now. As it's cleared into the center, going well wide, no one home for West Chicago. There's no bodies going forward right now. And it looks like Bilecki getting ready to get back into this game as West Chicago controls the ball. Offsides flag goes up, and the whistle is sounded in what was a very, very tight play. And fortunately for Elk Grove, it was a tight play that was called.
Yeah, we don't have the right angle to see if it was indeed
No,
correct or not, but the line judge is right there.
He's got a great angle on it. That's why I'll refer to it as a tight call, because from where we're looking, that was tight. Trying to switch fields, Elk Grove intercepted by West Chicago. Flicked down and played long with Strigala looking to scoop it up.
What we started to say earlier at the 22-minute mark, right? We haven't seen a shot on from Elk Grove or even an opportunity since 28 minutes. West Chicago is just taking over this game in the second half. They're not content either to just hold the ball. It's almost like they're putting on a show.
I would say I don't think they know how to play any other way other than their full metal press, heavy metal football. So I think that's the right call. I don't think if that's what's gotten you here, that is what's your style that you're comfortable in playing. That's the skill set that you have. Why abandon your game plan, which is working, just because the safe play would be to play more defensively? Whistle.
That's going to get called. That's hard to visualize. You didn't get the ball first there, but whatever.
Yeah,
the whistle, maybe the tight, like you said, the emotions of the referee are going to say, I'm going to call everything tighter now.
It may be time to just call it tight. I agree. That was maybe a bit of a soft call, but Elk Grove launches it down long, and another long kick bounces around in the West Chicago.
That's where you got to be real careful if you're West
Box.
Chicago. If you foul somebody in the box, you end up
Absolutely.
losing the tie because of that. You don't want to lose the tie because of a penalty kick. So keep the ball out of your goal box. And they have done that by being so aggressive offensively in this whole second half.
And I want to say it was in the last game I was here, Elk Grove did win a penalty kick that got them back into the game.
Yeah, it's a good way to get back in the game. Penalty kicks, set pieces, other ways other than
You
just
got to
scoring.
be disciplined in the box as a defender.
Well, the other way to avoid that is by not letting the ball get in that box. Great pass.
There's West Chicago. That was another tight one. And just
Missed
enough put on that to put it out of the path of the charging West Chicago forward. And excellent defending by Elk Grove. There's been some, once again, just with the exception of that momentary lapse, this defensive back has been very, very effective against a high-scoring West Chicago. And Strigala having an outstanding game. You'd love to see as McKenna does a nice turn, dances with the ball, but ultimately referee opting for an advantage call, and it's unfortunate that McKenna just getting...
he's a tough character.
He's great play, just there was no one to go with. He was just... As the ball... Elk Grove getting an opportunity. The ball is still free in the box. One shot. And that
All you can say on
chances
that is what a
opportunity
great play.
ended with West Chicago keeper falling on the ball, but that was bouncing around for a long time, happening so fast I couldn't make out who was on the ball.
17 minutes to go after that one.
West Chicago clearing up the ball.
And that was the downside of West Chicago being so good on offense for this whole first half. They just didn't have a whole lot of defenders in the box. And Elk Grove almost scored as a result. Now here it's a 1 on the whole team.
A 1 on 6 in Elk Grove, I think. Somewhat fortunate to come away with a throw on that, because I thought that was looking like it may have taken a slight deflection. Elk Grove possessing the ball, trying to make some quick moves up the field.
I wouldn't be surprised to see after that scrum in front of the goal for West Chicago to play a little bit more defensive-minded now the rest of the game.
You could see that they maybe were a little more slower moving up the field on that last clear.
Exactly. They could have been tired, but I think they're also saying, let's not let that happen again. And they do. They have 7 people back now.
McKenna jumping over the ball. McKenna with the ball, trying to get some room, cuts it back, puts it on his left foot, off the defender. Elk Grove trying to keep the ball down here. West Chicago trying to clear it out. As the ball lands to Neri Gomez. Neri Gomez trying to center the ball in, and West Chicago's keeper wraps that up quickly. Holding the ball as long as he's allowed.
Well, he was looking for open people, and nobody was open.
No, he was just trying to make an attempt to cross it in. Good play by Elk Grove. Now's the time to strike, as West Chicago is looking for controlling a good section of that second half.
Good steal.
Maybe just a little hesitant as they push forward. Through ball, put over the top, and he's going to want that one back, folks. That was a golden opportunity for West Chicago to put a bit of a nail in the coffin here, as Elk Grove continues with a short out from the goal kick, trying to possess the ball as it goes to Ortiz Diaz, who runs through it. McKenna trying to switch fields, a long pass right on the money, and unfortunately given right up, but then given right back by Elk Grove. Elk Grove trying to come back and get possession. West Chicago trying to get it out. We've got a 50-50 ball here. Elk Grove manages to keep it in. Bilecki dancing down the sidelines, moving up towards the side, just gets it taken away with just perhaps one touch too many. Referee opting no call on that play. Centered into the middle. Flores on the ball to Bilecki. Bilecki on the ball, looking for McKenna. West Chicago on possession.
Good steal.
Well stepped up by Elk Grove. Possession regain. And that is going to be a whistle every day, and that's a little bit of frustration after having that ball taken off of them.
This is what Elk Grove needs, though. They've got a penalty kick or free kick from the 30-yard line, right? It's right on net. You'd like to be a little bit off net, but here's what they need to do is send it again to the far post, which is the post on this side for deflection.
The long kicks we've seen tonight from Bilecki, and I believe Jimenez had one. Let's see if they can get one in as Bilecki lines up to take the kick. Launches it inside the box. Plenty of Elk Grove players in there, white shirts all around, and no one can get a foot on it as Bilecki, the lone man back, manages to slow down West Chicago long enough and regain possession. So now we have no opportunity for a quick counter for West Chicago, as they did for the first time elect to just take everyone back behind the ball.
Well,
West Chicago 1-on-1, 2-on-1, ball into the open space. Quick opportunity, and a beautiful stave by Strigala on that. 2-on-1, and that is another opportunity for the goalkeeper to tell
shine.
his players, I bailed you out enough tonight. You guys need to bail us out. Get that goal, because he has been having a phenomenal game, and that could be the difference between some of these games. West Chicago may not have faced a keeper who is on fire tonight as Strigala is.
Yeah, the striker chose to hit a near post shot rather than a far post shot, and the goalie read that. Just a fantastic save.
He's been coming out well tonight. He's been reading his angles. He's been having a great game. West Chicago with the ball.
Knocks down.
Yeah, and this is where the referee needs to step in. That needs to be a yellow card. That has to be and that's going to be coming out. There was absolutely no contact on the play, and what concerns me is the way that the West Chicago player is holding his ankle. See if he pops up right away. He was not touched on that play one bit.
Well, I think if you replay that, you're going to find out he got clobbered on that play, and then held on to the ball because he got hurt, and then
I didn't see
tried to steal the ball back.
I didn't see any contact on that.
Yeah. Well, we have to play that one back.
Yeah.
I think giving him a yellow card was steep, but he did hold on to the ball like it was a football.
The whistle was called. That play was right in front of the AR, who did not signal for any sort of foul, and then did signal for what was called a handball on the West Chicago player for falling onto the ball, resulting in a free kick. And when he rolled off onto the field holding the ball, that's going to be a time waste. And with Bilecki getting a yellow card for unsportsmanlike conduct for interfering with a free kick.
Well, the clock stopped.
Yeah, the referee has stopped the clock, but that is the same call that the referee made earlier in the game with Bilecki getting that yellow for interfering with a free kick. "12 minutes left in the game. Elk Grove still trailing 1-0. Out wide. Bilecki on the ball, trying to bring it inside.
Patience. Right now they have it.
Elk Grove moving the ball nicely. Out to McKenna. West Chicago still opting to go for that direct attack. Elk Grove failing to get it, but a whistle and a foul on West Chicago as Jason Ortiz-Diaz, who's had himself a very nice game as well. And unfortunately for Elk Grove, there's been a lot of good performance out here tonight, but the scoreboard just doesn't reflect how well as a team and how well some of these individual efforts have been tonight.
Well, that's what happens. These are brackets. Only the best teams continue to advance. And, Elk Grove has had a fantastic year, but so has West Chicago.
Absolutely.
So both teams are, essentially at the top here. You wouldn't know it by their seed numbers, but seeded, 4th and 6th.
When you look at the number, both teams have about 4 and 5 losses each. Going, a lot of wins and a lot of not so many ties, but I mean both teams have had fantastic seasons. And for West Chicago, and one of their losses on this season is to the number 1 ranked team in Illinois, North Central High School out of Naperville. And that was a 3-0 loss to start the season, and I got to believe West Chicago has only gotten better as the season has gone on. If you're at a place when you're playing the number 1 team, and heavy tackle at midfield, no call by the referee, it did seem to be all ball. Elk Grove streaming down the side. Ball ping-pongs around off of West Chicago defenders. Marzel Mirza, a little upset by the interference that he felt he received on that last play, as West Chicago is going to line up for a corner kick. And there isn't a single blue jersey in that corner, and we are 10 seconds already clicking off. 20 seconds before he even gets to the ball, and I would assume another 10 seconds before he... 25 seconds before the referee even tells him to get a move on. Strigala gathers that whole corner kick took quite a lot of time. Strigala playing it up, Bilecki dropping back, hoping to get that second ball. West Chicago still going for those direct attacks, looking to get that final through ball.
Yeah, they might be stalling for time, but they are certainly not.
They're certainly not playing for anything other than a goal when they get that ball in play. With Flores, I believe, on there, shielding that ball out of play and winning a goal kick for Elk Grove. Good shift in for Flores as he makes way for Boys Live. Coming back on the field for this final 8 minutes. McKenna collecting the ball. And that is another foul on West Chicago.
Yeah, this is
a
little
less of a cynical foul than some of them, but a foul nonetheless.
I'm a little surprised they didn't set something up rather than move forward quickly, but here they go.
As the ball's crossed in the middle, headed out, down to McKenna. McKenna has it tackled away. Elk Grove looking to put pressure, not letting West Chicago get that ball out of their own half as Elk Grove regains possession.
Did a good job to do that.
That was well taken. Launched long into the middle to McKenna. McKenna flicks it on. Jimenez on the ball. Crosses it back towards the middle. No one home for Elk Grove as West Chicago clears it out of danger. Boys Live on the blocking it from going down. A little bit of a pushing match between Elk Grove's Andre Palma. Off the ball, Strugala sends it up long, only to be hit back. Bounce around at midfield for a minute. Won by West Chicago. And a through ball makes it in with an opportunity on net. And should be the end of it for Elk Grove. With once again, well taken by West Chicago as they slotted the ball in to the goal scorer. And
that was all strategy and coaching, that goal, right? Because West Chicago never took their foot off the gas.
They
continued to
played
push.
their game. They played their game the entire night, and when they did try to drop out from it, and that was some of the times when Elk Grove had the most opportunities. Now, there are 7 minutes left in this game, so Elk Grove's going to have to figure something out real fast. West Chicago really exciting their fans as they take a 2-0 lead as the home team on away soil.
So I think we had the prediction, 2-1?
2-1. And
so Elk Grove gets a goal in this next 7 minutes to make it close, right?
It's wouldn't be unexpected, but let's see if Elk Grove can come back with maybe 2 goals here. Plenty of time. Anything can happen, but they're going to have to keep their heads up.
Now, not Elk Grove, West Chicago will still probably keep the foot on the gas pedal to try to make it 3-0, knowing that even if they give up a goal, here we go.
As they get another opportunity.
Yeah, even if they give up a goal, they've got this game 2-1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If I'm West Chicago, I am pushing even harder for a third goal to truly put this game away because
there's
put away. Low risk.
With 7 minutes left and Elk Grove having not scored, it's put away. The question is it going to be 2-1 or 3-0 or stay at 2-0?
I disagree. That 6.5 minutes is a lot of time to play in a game. I think I saw, granted the circumstances were different, but I saw the girls varsity team last spring score 3 goals in 90 seconds. So. But that's not going to do it as we have a whistle here for a trip and a yellow card for number 8. Is that for Elk Grove? Jason Ortiz-Diaz.
Yeah, we're too far away, but I don't know how aggressive that push from behind was. If it was menacing or just, it looked like he just ran him over.
I think it's more or less the situation of it that it was not even an attempt to really play the ball.
Well, and then the
frustration right in front of the referee.
And the referee probably trying to control the game as well. It didn't look like a yellow card worthy push from behind. I guess what I'm trying to say.
It really just is. I think it's just that situation. Like you said, let's keep control of the game. One of these two teams, most likely West Chicago, has another game to play. And these are high school athletes. We don't want to see anyone getting hurt. Tempers run hot. I've been on both sides of that exchange, and I can tell you neither one in the end is fun. McKenna tracking back, trying to get something going. West Chicago doing a beautiful job possessing the ball here. And that is going to earn, wow, I am shocked to not see a card for that.
Well, again, he gets the ball first, and if you follow through and tackle a guy, that's okay.
No, you can't separate your feet like that. They call that a scissor tackle, and most referees are going to give you an automatic yellow card just due to the danger of how dangerous that tackle is and the high likelihood, even though if you get the ball cleanly, the high likelihood of an injury on an ankle. And that trailing foot was a little high. Fortunately, though, no injury, and then no foul. McKenna at midfield tries to go out wide to Jimenez and doesn't quite get there. West Chicago still pushing that quick counter all the way back to Strigala. As we reach 4 minutes, 42 seconds left in the game, McKenna on the ball.
Some good footwork, but very far away from the net.
Yep, and honestly, for Elk Grove, Bilecki has just been really, you expect to call out a name for your lead scorer by quite a bit. You really expect to call the senior's name out. Now, kind of seems some heavy feet and some hung heads here late in the game, trailing 2-0. Substitution by West Chicago as the clock will stop for that substitution. With 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game, there is very little time here, and Elk Grove is going to need to do something quick. West Chicago throws in the ball. Possessed down. Sent out wide. Man, wide open in the middle. Opts to take it himself. Well won. That is a beautiful opportunity for the referee. He should have given an advantage there, but we whistle and we stop the play, and Elk Grove gets it over across. Bilecki back. Launched long. Jimenez gets on the end of it. He's got plenty of help here. McKenna and Boyzelev on his left. Managed to take a turn. And it just, Boyzelev trying to do the unselfish play there and get it to either McKenna or another white shirt, and it just doesn't reach there. Offsides by West Chicago. Even now, up 2-0 with 3 minutes left in the game, they are still pushing. They are still going with their attack-minded game. Bilecki on the ball. Beautiful move, but this needed to happen about 10 minutes ago. And
it should get a free kick right from there.
Right there.
So the strategy here is get this one in, and then you got about 2 minutes to get a second goal.
2 minutes. Hopefully the referee, if this ball can get in real quickly here, get 2 minutes. Maybe the referee will take pity on you and stop that clock to start to avoid a clock rundown. Once again, this is the trouble with high school soccer. There is no added time.
Well, this one has to go in here.
From the moment they scored, has been going slow. Bilecki over the ball, off the wall. Elk Grove with possession. Back to Bilecki. Bilecki's going to get it.
It's a 3-on-1. This is trouble.
West Chicago moving the ball down. Elk Grove tracking back even at this late stage, still managing to put the pressure on and not give up anything. West Chicago with the ball, putting it out wide.
Oh, it looked like a handball from here.
It did indeed, but we play on. As the clock reaches 1:45 seconds, that was probably the last chance for Elk Grove, with McKenna just...
He decided to...
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. You get a yellow card.
He's going to get a yellow card, and that'll probably... Oh, and interesting. It's a yellow card for dissent, most likely, on the West Chicago player. I would say that McKenna there, losing his cool for a minute, probably deserved a yellow card for that tackle.
Something must happen on the field that we didn't see or hear.
It has to be dissent. Must have said something, which I don't know why you're complaining. You got the call. You're getting the... If anything, you just hurt yourself, because now with that card, the referee gets to stop the clock.
Yeah, there had to be some kind of taunt going on.
Yeah. That results in a win for Elk Grove, saving time on the clock. But as this clock winds down, it is truly getting out of any sort of miracle chance. McKenna, unfortunately, just keeps putting in those heavy tackles. He's going to have to watch himself.
Well, he puts on skates in the winter and plays hockey, right?
I bet I don't know.
No, we're just making that up.
But he, I believe, is only a sophomore, so he does.
He's got a great future.
Of many more years. Bilecki here, just leaving it in that tackle. You don't like to see that. He is going to probably get himself a red card here if he's not careful, and that would be something to see, to get a red card in the last 50 seconds.
Well, that probably won't happen then, but it is very, very chippy at the last couple minutes of this game. Can't say it was chippy earlier. It was just a well-played game, and then at the end, some frustration got through.
Well, West Chicago had some chippy play early on. But once they took the lead, they maybe calmed down a little bit, a little less in the second half as this game winds down. Sent out of bounds by West Chicago. Bilecki with the ball.
Another card coming,
and the referee needs
stopped.
to.
Now we got a fight going.
And frankly, the referee needs to. And this is what happens to the referee when he's failed to take control of this game. Early on, he's given a yellow card. Where are the cards though for the the outrageous tackle and then the kick in the face afterwards? McKenna now surrounded by West Chicago. West Chicago.
I don't know why he's still being so aggressive over there. He needs to go to his side.
West Chicago here, and as the fight further breaks out on the bench.
Yeah, this doesn't look good for either team.
No, this is a terrible, terrible look for both teams. And West Chicago really needs to watch themselves. They have a game to play. A red card actually does hurt them. And the referee is going to have to do something about this. This is completely out of control. A red card, is that a red card there shown to Boysilev, maybe?
Well, the red cards against Elk Grove don't matter.
Yeah, number 4 Boysilev on Elk Grove, but frankly, West Chicago should have earned themselves a red card on that interaction as well.
Yeah, they have to stay out of all those interactions. Just like you said, cards come out for them,
frankly,
could cost them.
It is inappropriate for the referee to let all of that slide, even with that. It doesn't matter if it was 10-0 and West Chicago was going on. The rules are the rules of the game, and you cannot allow the players to start a fight and let it go unpunished, no matter what point of the game you're in, if it's the first minute or the last minute. And West Chicago and Elk Grove both, unfortunately, have not shown the best of themselves at the end of this game, which had been a very good game up until this last 5-6 minutes.
And of course, that's got to be hard for the referee, trying to remember who all the numbers were that got the cards.
Yeah, and that's,
With 17 seconds to go. Well, like I said, we got treated to a good game until at the very end it got a little too chippy.
Yeah. As the assistant referee is having a chat with Elk Grove's coach, not sure exactly what's going on here. I guess as he seems to be leaving the field, I couldn't quite tell if some fans have been kicked out or the coach. I don't know exactly what happened here, but for the last 17 seconds of this game, it has been rather disappointing for it to come to this.
I'm intrigued that we have a free kick at this point also.
As it's sent in, and it's going to go in the net, maybe?
No.
I don't know. That was close.
The goalie can have the ball, but if the goalie and the ball's in the net, it's a goal.
Well,
but he held it up.
The ball has to completely cross the line for a goal. It was close, but as West Chicago lasts out in that last few minutes, Elk Grove, a tough loss to end the season as West Chicago wins it 2-0 over the Elk Grove Grenadiers. Bob, any final thoughts?
Well, it was fun to watch. I mean, 2-0. Unfortunately for Elk Grove, it went the wrong way. Both teams had a great season. So West Chicago, their season goes on. Well, Elk Grove, unfortunately for the seniors, that's it here at Elk Grove. Dan Klaus has done an absolutely fantastic job with this team and this program.
This has been it's been a tough loss here for Elk Grove to end the season, but we knew we were going to get into a really tight game when we started out, and It's going to be a tough one for Elk Grove. It's going to be a tough Saturday morning. But for West Chicago, it'll be all smiles on that trip home. We'll be back this winter with coverage of both boys and girls varsity basketball and also boys varsity wrestling. Look for us on Friday, December 19th. It's a basketball combo night against Conan. That means you'll see the girls play at 6 p.m., followed by the boys game at 7:30. Watch them both live on Comcast Channel 6, Facebook, YouTube, or the EGTV website at eg-tv.org. There's also a link on the website to the on-demand page, so you can watch all the games, including this one, at a later date and time. Well, it has been a beautiful night, and for EGTV, I'm Brian Siring.
Bill Soy.
And for all the crew, Scott and Debbie,
Scott Marinick, Debbie Dennison,
Vanessa, and all the crew, have a good night.